It's been quite a while since I've made a video. It's been about 2 weeks actually, but as you might have noticed, I've been uploading lots of practice videos because, well, I've been practicing the drums a lot more within the past couple weeks. So this video is actually kind of for I guess the last week and a half of Digital Consoles and English Comp, and I know it's kind of cheating for my video things, but I mean, I've got life happening too, so it's cool. It's cool. We're gonna talk for a little bit today. Uh, yeah, we're gonna talk about basically the end of Digital Consoles and English Comp. Digital Consoles, the third week we were on the venue, and the last week we had two labs, one on the Matrix and one on the venue, and they were mixing labs. But we'll get into all that. I've got my classes and stuff on my external now. I went ahead and organized everything. Today is Sunday, March 25th. Again, like I said, it's been a while since I've made a video, but I just haven't made one. So let's see. Digital Consoles, keynotes. I think the last time was week 3, I do believe. Yeah. Okay, so we last left off in week 3. And that week we had a quiz on the venue. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was Thursday. We went over some stuff. We went over how to do monitors with the venue, and we also went over recording with the venue. So for the monitors, we talked about we started with the impact of digital consoles and monitor systems, and we went into basic mix configurations, setting up the console for monitor mixing, the lab layout and exercises. So basically what we were going to be doing in lab. We talked about snapshots and events with the monitors, finding more mixes and auxes so you can use it. You can utilize different things to do the same thing if you ran out of room or whatever. We checked out personal digital monitor systems, advanced functions of the monitor system, and then finally how our lab grade was going to go. And so, we discussed exactly how to make the mixes and how to switch between them and everything, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty easy. The lab was all right. The lab for that one was actually there wasn't a grade sheet or anything. It was basically a pass-fail kind of situation, and it was all a participation grade. So as long as you participated and weren't like sleeping or on the computer or anything, you got 100. So it was pretty cool. And we basically in the lab room, there's 3 or 4 rows of 3 consoles, and so each row had to team up with each other. And so it was me, Kevin, and Ashwin, and we were giving each other such crap, like with the mixes. Like Kevin was making my monitor mix at one point. I was like, "Hey Kevin, give me some more snare." Let's turn up the snare. I was like, "All right, turn everything else down." Turn it down a little bit. I was like, "Keep going." He was looking at me. I was like, "Keep going." So it was really funny because all I had was the snare in my mix. It was just funny. But yeah, the monitor lab wasn't so bad at all. I liked the fact that it was a pretty easy day, pass fail. None of that crazy grade sheet stuff. So that one was all right. It wasn't bad at all. And then, so going back to that lecture, the venue recording. There's actually 2 types of recording. You can do 2-track or multi-track, obviously. And so we discussed the 2 and how they're different. And we weren't able to actually practice this or anything because obviously there's no band that we can perform in lab. But it was still, just some interesting stuff that we discussed in lecture. And then at the end of the week, we had a quiz on Saturday on the venue SC48, and we did a review for the first half, and then we took the quiz, which was like 30 or 40 questions, and talked about the basics of the SC48. It's got 48 mic inputs, 16 outputs, 8 stereo effects returns, 8 VCA masters, etc., etc. All the stuff that we learned about the venue, basically. And I think I got like an 87 or something on it. I can't remember. It wasn't the best grade, but it was still good enough, Well, I wasn't close to failing at all or anything, so, I'm not worried. So week 3 for digital consoles was pretty cool. The venue, I'm not a live person. There's, I could probably do, I wouldn't mind doing small venue places or whatever, like doing the sound for, the band at the local bar down the street or whatever, but nothing crazy big, you know, I mean, I'm just not cut out for the live stuff. It's fun, but I don't think it's for me. Because I didn't have as much fun on the venue as I did the Matrix. So it was kind of a I guess not a deciding factor there, but it kind of opened my eyes up to what I'm about. But on the other side of things, for English Comp, let's see, week 3, I think I basically had, there were some other discussion questions to get done on the FSO website, and also we had to kind of put together, one of the discussion questions was about, what do you plan to do to finish your paper revisions? Because we had to do 2 revisions for 2 papers that we did. One paper was the proposal paper, and the other paper was the responding to pop culture page, or paper. And we had to revise both of those. And one of the discussion questions was, what are your plans to revise your proposal paper? So you had to put together a little timeline for that and explain what you were going to do and all that. So that was easy. And then there was another discussion question on something else. I can't remember what it is, and I can't look at it actually anymore because my class has passed. But just know there was another discussion question that required an answer and then a response to somebody else. And then basically after that, the last week was finishing up the paper revisions. And so what we had to do was there was the rough draft paper, and then in the Word document we had to make more pages and basically copy and paste the rough draft, and then on the second copy of it that was below it, that was the revision. So that's the one that we went in and fixed and did all the other stuff. The revisions were, I waited until pretty much the last minute. I waited till Friday to do them, even though I should have done them sooner. But they both got done. The responding to pop culture paper, I was supposed to talk about how the game because I wrote about a video game, and I was supposed to talk about how it impacted the industry, and I did a little research, and I couldn't find anything, so I just didn't put anything new. So I'm probably going to get some points taken off for that, but what can you do? Everything else was just fine. So as far as English Comp went, it was just those 2 revisions, and I was done, basically. So I think the only thing I have left now is the course evaluation, which is you're critiquing the course and everything. So I've got that to do still. I might do that after this, but I mean, no one really likes doing those. So English Comp was alright. Overall, the class was, relatively okay. It's an English class. What can you do? But it was the quickest English class I've ever done in my entire life. 4 weeks of it's not bad. So I'm excited to be done with it. Yeah, English Comp, no problem. And now the 4th week of digital consoles, it was 2 lectures. Well, yeah, 2 lectures during the weekdays. And then yesterday I had the final exam, and there are also the 2 final labs. So let's talk about the labs first, and then we'll get into the lecture. Well, actually, why don't we just talk about the lecture itself. The lecture I had on Tuesday was about mixing, and basically that's all we talked about was how to mix and just different tips and stuff like that. Like what, for example, tricks on using a compressor, or like what you would typically use a gate on, or whatever. How to kind of tweak your EQs to make it sound a little better. So it was actually a pretty fun lecture. We broke it down into 2 halves. The first half was like studio mixing, and the second half was on live mixing. So I thought it was really informative. Because, everyone that comes here, that's what they want to do. They want to be a mix engineer or a recording engineer. or whatever. So like that was the lecture that was rocking, you know. And then the lab for after that, the 2 labs for the week. The first lab that I had was on the matrix, and basically we were allowed to bring in our own logic session. Like if we had a project of our own, excuse me. Yeah, if we had a project of our own, we could bring it in on a thumb drive and plug it into the computer and go from there and just mix on the matrix and use the outboard gear if we wanted, even though it really wouldn't make a difference. Um, Simply because you can't record, you know, the analog stuff. But we could use our own project, and I had a project that I wanted to bring in. The only problem with my project was it was all MIDI. So I wanted to go ahead and bounce my MIDI tracks to audio tracks, but for whatever reason, Logic was not agreeing with me that day. And before I went to lab, I was trying to bounce the tracks over, and my audio tracks did not have a record enable button. And I'm just like, you know, I'm frustrated as hell because I don't know what's going on, and finally I was just, screw it, you know, who cares? So I went into the lab, and it was pretty lame. I didn't get to use my own project, but the bands that they did have were pretty good. I can't remember the names of any of them because they're like local bands that come to Full Sail and record for free. Um, but, you know, I spent basically what it was the whole 4 hours just mixing. So that was fun on the Matrix. And then it was the exact same thing on the Venue Lab that I had a couple days later, where it was just mixing. Basically walked in and Lab Tech Brian was like, well, you guys know that we're here to mix today, so pick a project and go, mix. And he actually, we got into it, and about 10 minutes in, he called us over to his station, and he showed us one of his mixes of a group called Social Ghost, which is actually the band that I mixed as well. I think a lot of people pick Social Ghost because it was probably one of the better projects that they had. Because the way that the console was set up, we had a Pro Tools rig feeding into the venue, so it was as if we each had our own live band, except it was Pro Tools. So, you know, they had pre-recorded shows, and I think most everyone picked Social Ghost at some point. But I picked that one first, and I spent like the first 2 hours on that, I guess, or however long. You know, I ran through the show twice because it was like 45 minutes long, and mixed with that. We went on break and came back and mixed some more, and I picked a different group when we got back, and that was it. Another 4 hours of just mixing and playing with it, and it was a lot of fun. I think the last 2 labs were really good. And then let's see, the final lecture of digital consoles. It was basically review for the final exam, and we did not have the keynotes, or at least I didn't, for the final exam. So, you know, I basically had to follow along with my study guides and fill in the answers as we went along. And it was on both the Matrix and the Venue. So basically, the 2 quizzes that we took put together was the final exam, plus some extra questions. There were actually, on the final exam, 100 questions. Walked in on Saturday and wasted no time. We got right into it. He didn't even call a roll. He was just like, you know, I'll check your name off when you turn your test in. So, yeah, that was that. Digital consoles was alright. The 100 questions took me like maybe a half hour to get done. These tests really don't take long if you know what you're talking about, I guess. And I mean, I studied fairly well. You know, I at least expect to get an A on the test. I mean, especially the fact that each question was worth a single point. So, I think I did pretty good. Now, the last 10 questions were pretty rough. I wasn't prepared for the last 10 questions, which were on the monitor stuff, because we only spent a little bit of time on the monitor. I mean, we did a whole lab on it and everything, but we didn't spend all that much time and lecture on it. So I was like, whoa, you know. But the majority of them were actually true-false. So that gave me a 50-50% chance. So I know I at least got 5 out of those 10 correct. But otherwise, it was pretty good. I felt really good about it. So other than the last 10 questions, you know I should at least get like a 90 on it. But I am expecting a little more than that. So we'll see what happens. I'm not sure when I'll find out my grade. Probably not for like another month or something, but we'll find out at some point. So yeah, digital consoles overall, pretty fun class. Starting tomorrow, actually, on Monday the 26th, I start critical listening and audio workstations. Excuse me. So basically, it's like ear training class and then Pro Tools class is essentially what it is. So I kind of, I went ahead and archived my class folders for last month and opened up new folders for the coming classes and downloaded all the stuff off of Propeller. I need to head to school a little early tomorrow to pick up the textbooks for critical listening and whatever they have for audio workstations. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Busy month because spring break is this month as well, so I've got like Sunday and Saturday classes and stuff. I think there's one weekend where I have a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, but otherwise it's like I'm going at it 5 or 6 days a week. So, it's gonna be rough finding time to like exercise and work out, practice drums, and just screw around on the computer or just whatever. Because there is homework this coming month. There is like a project we have to do at home. And a friend of mine is actually a month ahead of me, so he took these classes this past month, and like apparently the Pro Tools test or whatever is pretty hard. So I gotta definitely study the Pro Tools. But luckily for me, Mina has Pro Tools, so I can practice on her computer with Pro Tools if I need to. And actually, apparently, the students that started at Full Sail, I think in August, they get Pro Tools 10 or whatever. So all the people in my class, we're kind of pissed because we started a month before, but I guess we did get Final Cut Pro. But I don't even know when we're supposed to use Final Cut Pro. I'd rather trade it for Pro Tools, but what can you do? You know what I mean? So basically, if you're watching this video now and you enroll in school right now, you'll get Logic Pro and you'll also get Pro Tools. So that's pretty cool. You'll get the Mbox Mini and like it's a MIDI keyboard. Mina has hers back there, but yeah, at least I do have Mina's computer with Pro Tools, so that will be very advantageous for me. As far as critical listening, it's just going to take hours of practice, I suppose. Because we have, like, I think after the second lecture, we have a quiz, like a listening quiz. What the hell, like, that's pretty crazy. But this is college, it is Full Sail, that's what we do here. We waste no time at all. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. In other news, yeah, I'm hyped about doing drum corps if I can when I get out of here. Also, today I got I got an email about an hour and a half ago from iTunes, and they said that Nocturnicant, the new Mars Volta album, is available for download. And I'm freaking out because I pre-ordered it, and I downloaded it, and I listened to it, and I am just like amazed. I am in love with that album. It's so incredible. So the new Mars Volta album, Nocturnicate, go get it. It's nothing like they've ever done, ever. Seriously, it's completely different. It's amazing, basically. Mina can tell you I was freaking out. And my stepmom, Missy, actually is getting me the hard CD copy of it as well, so I can have the album art as well as a nice CD quality audio. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm very thankful that she's getting that for me. So yeah, I'm hyped about the new album. Check it out, Nocturnicate. It's like $12 on iTunes, which is like way cheaper than I think it should be. It should be like, I don't know. Who cares how expensive it is, I guess, aside from like Omar and Cedric and all them. But go get it. It's worth it. It's an amazing album. Probably not going to be listening to anything but that for the next couple days or so. So, I don't know. I am trying to make it my goal to stay up with the videos. I say that every month, and then I get sidetracked with other stuff. So I'm not going to stress myself to do videos every day, but I'm going to make as many of them as I can. So, if you're still checking out the videos, do stay tuned, but don't expect them like all the time like I used to. Just because, one, this month is going to be a little crazy, just like December was, and two, I do have lots of other stuff going on as well. So please understand, I mean, you're a person too. I'm a person. We're friends. It's cool. So anyway, well, thanks for tuning in and listening to me talk for 20 minutes, a little over 20 minutes. I'm about to listen to some more of the new album and probably play some games. And then after that, I'm probably going to go cuddle with Mina and we're going to watch some more Bones. We're almost done with the whole series, so we got to pick a new show. So if you have a new show that you think, or a TV show that you think is worth checking out, let us know, and we'll look into it and let you know what we think too. So anyway, till next time, my friend, thanks for tuning in. Again, I usually don't apologize for not making videos, but sorry for not making any videos if you're checking these out continuously as I'm making them. If you're watching this a year from now, well then you're cool. So, no worries. But again, I'm going to make videos often, but not probably every day. So, I'll see you next time. Take it easy. This is Andrew, and I am out.